This is part 4 of how my auntie unalived my parents, not physically, but mentally and emotionally. So my auntie's come through the door now, and before you get into my living room, there's like a little corridor before you enter my living room. So she's walked through the corridor and she's standing by the entrance of the living room. So everyone literally has turned their head and is looking at my auntie. You can imagine how everyone was feeling. There were so many different emotions in that room. I, for one, was really, really shocked. So she proceeded to come inside and she sat down on the sofa, and opposite the sofa was where my mum was sitting in her wheelchair. And honestly, my mum didn't utter a word. All my mum done was just burst into tears. So my mum was just crying, you know, people were trying to console her. And all my auntie kept doing was just making noises like, That's all she just kept doing. I would also like to note that what my auntie was wearing wasn't, you know, something that you would wear to visit your sister that's just lost her husband. Basically, she was wearing jeans and trainers. Like, I'm not saying it's mandatory to wear black, but, you know, make some effort. So anyways, now she's just sitting there making those noises, and she literally was there for 20 to 25 minutes. And she said to my mum that, she's gonna take her leave, and then she just left. So I believe she came to see if it's really true that my dad has passed away, and she got her answer, so she left. So moving on to the following month, which was February, that was the month of my dad's funeral. It was a really, really tough month. So before the funeral directors were so amazing, you know. They allowed my mum to come and say her last goodbyes to my dad because, like I said previously, she wasn't able to view my dad's body. So I'm gonna insert the picture of my mum, you know, saying her last goodbye to my dad. And that was so hard to watch because at that precise time, all that was going through my mind is all the conversations my mum and dad used to have in presence of me and my brother, of their plans and their goals and ambition to, you know, their retirement plan and them going back to Ghana. And yeah, man, yeah, it was hard. It was so hard. It was so hard, like, honestly, seeing my mum processing all of, you know, what was going on. But anyways, we gave him the befitting funeral that he deserved. That day was so beautiful. It was so, so beautiful. So we've buried my dad now, and you can only imagine how hard it was to get back, you know, to our normal lives. Seeing my mum trying to cope without my dad, it was so difficult because my mum and dad were together for nearly 40 years before he passed. So you can imagine the amount of hurt and pain that my mum was going through. So due to all of that, her health started declining very, very drastically. And from being wheelchair bound, she became bed bound. She couldn't even sit up. She always had to lay down. So that's why she was bed bound. She started feeling weakness in her arms, her hands. Her sight was starting to go, you know, so her prescriptions in her glasses were very, very strong. So because my mum became bedbound and her health was declining, social services had to get involved, meaning adult social services, you know, to assess my mum and see her needs, etc. So they got involved and they said that my mum needs 24-hour care because of the extent of, you know, her condition. So carers were allocated to my mum morning, noon and evening. on rotation. So they would come and help my mum in the morning, or help my mum get ready for dialysis, and then transport will come and pick my mum up and take her to dialysis, and so on and so forth. So that was happening until one day my mum got a really, really bad infection in her back, and I believe that was due to her being bedbound, because at that point she was literally in one position. So you can imagine the damage that was doing to her body. So yeah, so the infection in my mum's back was getting really worse, and you know, social services once again and a few other healthcare professionals got involved and said, do you know what, your mum needs to be moved into a specialised home. And guys, honestly, when they told us that news, meaning me and my brother, that's when I lost all hope, because I was like, why is this happening? Like, my dad's gone. Now my mum's health is declining so bad. Like, I was really tired, guys. Honestly, I was tired. I was drained. You know, on numerous occasions when my mum got moved to this home, I had to, you know, attend so many meetings with, you know, these social workers and healthcare professionals. So whenever we would be in these meetings and they would show like my mum's condition, so like pictures, and explain what my mum is going through and stuff, it would just take me back, you know, to everything my mum and dad endured in the hands of my auntie and my cousin. So anyways, now my mum is in this home. I believe she was in the home for 6 months, and one day, like normal, they took her to dialysis on the Thursday, and where she has dialysis is St. Helios Hospital. So she went dialysis, and unfortunately her blood pressure was really, really low, and then she became unconscious, and they had to put my mum on oxygen, and me and my brother were just hoping and praying that my mum would pull through. But unfortunately, on the 9th of November 2024, just 3 days before my birthday, my mum passed away. And the fact that me and my brother witnessed my mum taking her last breath will stay with me forever. So after my mum passed, me and my brother had to, you know, come up with funds in order for us to bury her. So we decided to do a GoFundMe page, and I posted it up on my stories on Instagram, and I looked at who viewed, you know, my stories, and who do I see? My girl cousin viewing the story. It really shocked me because I didn't get no, you know, condolence message from her, even though she saw, you know, that I just lost my mum. And I didn't get no message from her siblings, nothing whatsoever. And it really, really hurts me to know that I have cousins out there, first cousins at that, that, you know, don't want nothing to do with me and my brother. For what reason? I can't tell you. I don't even know why. They've taken on their mother's beef and taken it as if it's their own beef. And you're beefing your cousins that have nothing to do with it. It doesn't make sense to me. But yeah. So yeah, that's the end of, you know, my mum and dad's story. Thank you for every single one of you that has watched each and every part of this. I've done this to raise awareness on, you know, sibling rivalry, enviness, jealousy, and just to put my mum and dad's story out there. And I just want to let you know, this is not the end. Stay tuned, because I'll be updating you guys on what's coming next. I have so many announcements coming up, so stay tuned. This is just the beginning.